Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Men's Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry, and coached the Tigers with a mixed bag this past week at home against Norfolk State. And the Tigers started off sluggishly, but you had a great second half, come up with a 10-point win. And then Tuesday night, a loss down in Harrisonburg in another odd game where you fell behind early 17-4, tied it up at halftime, took a 9-point lead, and ended up losing the game by 6. So 2 games with 2 different outcomes this past week.
Yeah, totally different outcomes. You know, it's life on the road, right? We had a tremendous defensive effort in front of a great crowd against Norfolk State, who's won their league. And then we went out to JMU, who also won their league. And good crowd. And, yeah, you know, I think I just told you, give JMU credit. They're really good on offense, and we couldn't guard them. It's the highest points per possession we have given up since Ohio State when we lost that fairly close game out there 4 years ago. The only other game I think in the last 7 or 8 years is when we played Virginia when they won the national championship. So. That hurts because we pride ourselves on our defense, but we could not stop them. And disappointing because we see, after a brutally bad start, we seized control of the game. And then, they rose up and made shot after shot down the stretch. So, like I said, they showed a championship spirit. I'm not going to say we didn't play hard. Anytime you win by 15 on the glass, obviously, your competitive effort's pretty good, but we've got to be way better defensively than we were the other night.
The one guy that really hurt you was Douglas, who went 6 of 7 from three-point range. Coming into the game, he had only been 3 of 17. That's kind of unexpected.
Well, give him credit. He's a good player. Good player they got out of the portal from Georgia Southern. We didn't make him uncomfortable. He rose up and made shot after shot on Dylan and Jack, just shot the ball right in their face in what we call Mayday situations, under 8 seconds, the shot clock's winding down. And, was that all the credit to JMU? Sometimes it's a make or miss game, or was that, lack of focus, lack of integrity? We've played some other good teams on the road and had much better defensive efforts. I'd like to think we can get to the point where we can make a miss, but when I bring up that that's the most points per possession we've given up in 5 years, it doesn't make you feel great.
But what should help a little bit is you only lost by 6. It's not like you got blown out of the building having a bad defensive night.
No, yeah, and I'm aware of that. But when you schedule good teams like JMU, picked to win the Sun Belt, won the Sun Belt. Same thing with Norfolk. Next week we play 3 games against teams that'll be as good as JMU, if not better. It's cause for concern. It's cause for alarm. And our guys have to make sure that they're consistently bought in, that defensively. Like I said, you can't have a great defensive effort against 2 teams that are the top 10 in the country and then not consistently follow that up. Because the one thing I think hopefully we've learned from is that atmosphere at JMU, that'll be 4 or 5 nights in our league when Towson comes in. And, I thought we got it across to our guys about they were going to be ready and we weren't ready. And then, like I said, we get up 9 like that. So somehow we had a 22-point swing in the game, which is encouraging. But then up 9, we didn't get stops. We had a couple bad plays offensively late, but we never got stops in that game.
I thought a bright spot for you, though, was Caleb Mbaya last night. He played a very good game.
Awesome. I think it was his best game in his Tiger uniform. He's like 12th in the country in offensive rebounding rate. He's just a horse. He scored it. He rebounded it. And he did an incredible job.
Made his foul shots.
I was about to say, incredible job making key foul shots when the game was in the balance. So if we can get some other guys back up to speed based on the growth we've seen in Caleb, that's exciting.
All right, now you head to Florida, and we all have to thank you, those of us that will be traveling with you, because you were set to go to Canada, but now all of a sudden you're going to Orlando instead, which, big ups. You face Rhode Island on Monday. They're 4-1 going into that game. They just had a big win over Yale, who's picked to win the Ivy League. So the Rams are going to be a formidable opponent come Monday morning at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, Rhode Island would win our league. I have tremendous respect for Archie Miller. They've got a really good roster. They guard you. They're well coached. They play with great pace. And I've got, great respect for Rhode Island. I mean, Parfait and I both Coach Parfait there. There's tremendous tradition in Rhode Island. They're in the Atlantic 10, one of the best leagues in the country. So that'll be, and I think they're a postseason team. So that'll be a really good test for us. I do feel like the opportunity to play outstanding teams on national television and be part of the ESPN events is great opportunities for our program, our athletics, our university. So we welcome those challenges, and the great opportunities to win, and then we also got to continue to get better as a team.
And then, regardless, you win or lose, you're either going to play Vermont or Liberty on Tuesday. Vermont has been the class of America East for the last decade, and Liberty, one of the top-rated mid-majors in the country.
Yeah, good. Good opportunities. We got good games. I mean, Bradley's on the other side, and Temple's in the American, and San Diego and Princeton have won their league. So these things are, our guys will be excited. Except I'm just you get me a little bit in a disappointment because we try to hang our hat on our defense, especially because we made some strides on offense with ball security and getting out in transition. So you want to put together, kind of a complete package, and we haven't done that yet. But that's the quest, and we'll get back to work and try to make that happen.
All right, Coach. We will be with you Monday morning, 11 a.m., a breakfast version of Towson University men's basketball. And I'll leave you with this. If you find yourself in the wrong story, leave. Thanks to Pat Scarry. I'm Spiro Marikas. Tune in again sometime in the next 10 days for another edition of the Tiger Men's Basketball Report.